You're listening to the Build Your Life Coaching Biz podcast, where you get to learn how to start and grow an online coaching business from scratch. So how do you know if you're meant to actually become a life coach? Well, do people naturally reach out to you for advice, motivation, and support? Have you experienced a lot of traumatic events in life, and now you feel called to help others through the same challenges? Do you feel like you've already been coaching people your whole life and you're finally ready to start getting paid for it? Well, my friend, if any of those descriptions fit you, then you are in the right place to answer your calling of becoming a life coach. I'm your host, Krista Kathleen, a professional certified coach and business mentor, and I left my former job as a full-time nurse back in 2016 in order to pursue my purpose of becoming an online life coach so I could help to change lives as I traveled around the world. Having the freedom and flexibility to be my own boss and make as much money as I want right from my laptop was one of the best gifts I ever gave to myself, my family, and the world. And now I want to help you to do the same. In these episodes, I'll give you real coaching combined with proven strategies and spiritual practices in order to help you build your dream coaching business that feels right for you. So tonight is our free training Tuesday in the Build Your Life Coaching Biz Facebook group, and we're going to talk about money mindset this evening. So more specifically, 5 steps to change your money mindset. And the reason that I'm choosing this topic today is because I've been getting on the phone with a lot of you over the past couple weeks, doing interviews for the life coach training and discovery calls, and there's been a lot of money blocks showing up for all of you. So I was like, okay, we got to do something about this, because this is like the first step towards having a breakthrough in your coaching business. And if you all day long are thinking, I don't have money, I'm broke, I'm afraid to spend money, I think my money's going to run out, like, raise your hand if that's you. That's totally okay to have those thoughts. I'm not, doing any shaming or judging here. But what happens is that pattern of thinking is going to show up in other areas of your life, and it's going to show up in your coaching business as well. So if you think, I don't have money for coach training, then that thinking is also going to go into, well, I don't have clients, and I don't have followers on social media, and I don't have this, I don't have that. And you're not in the right mindset there, right? You're in this scarcity mindset of focusing on everything that you don't have right now versus an abundant mindset that we want to help you to create of, well, I don't have this yet, but how can I create it? Where can I go find it? And knowing that the situation has the opportunity to change, right? So that's why we really hopefully all of you will have a huge breakthrough around your money situation tonight, because this will very much help you with finding clients in your coaching business, and then hopefully finding money to join life coach training as well, because I know that this is going to be the thing that helps you to feel confident and prepared and ready as a coach, and to go put your coaching services out in the world and really help your clients. With that being said, I wanted to quickly share my journey around money, because it's been a long and interesting one. And where I am today is not where I first started out in my coaching business. So I always like to, shed light on that and talk about that to kind of like inspire all of you that I did not just like start my coaching business with this confidence and mindset that I have now. I really had to work at it over years and practice and rewrite my stories and let go of a lot of limiting beliefs. And it was really, really hard at first. And I was that person with my life coach that, okay, well, let me backtrack a little bit. So I was a full-time labor and delivery nurse, and I was used to, I would basically open up my bank account, and every 2 weeks there was a paycheck in there, and I didn't have to think about making money. All I knew is I had to show up to my job 3 times a week, and I had to perform a certain set of duties, and then as a result, that would mean money would show up in my bank account. And then on top of that, right, so that's my first experience with making money. And then on top of that, growing up, my family didn't talk about money. Like my dad never sat down with me and said, okay, let's talk about how to manage money or how to budget money. Even though he's a brilliant entrepreneur and so amazing at making money, for some reason, he didn't do that with me. And so, like money was just something we didn't talk about. It's kind of like this hush hush taboo topic. I never heard my parents talking about money at all. And a lot of people in society don't talk about money again, 'cause the whole taboo-ness behind it. So, like, really, I never had to do any work around it. And then I quit my nursing job and I do my life coaching business. And now all of a sudden, like, all of these money fears and worries and insecurities and emotions are coming up to the surface. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Where is this coming from? This is insane. No one told me that you were going to have to navigate through all of this when becoming a life coach. And I'm sure a lot of you probably feel the same way. But like when you run your own business, like you have to become best friends with money. You have to form a relationship with it, like anything in your life, right? And a lot of times we end up hating money. We think it's the root of all evil, and we think rich people are snobby and stuck up, and money causes problems. And the more money you have, the more that people are going to want to take advantage of you, and like all these other crazy money stories and everything that can come up. So we really don't want to bring that with us into our business. And then on top of it, a lot of our coaching clients are going to have their own money issues and breakdowns. And if we have unresolved money stuff, it's really hard to support them through it, especially as we're doing sales too. A huge part of sales is to support people around their money fears and objections. So I'm so glad that all of you are here for this free training tonight, so we can help you to feel better and work through your money stuff, so that way you can really help your clients and potential clients work through their stuff as well. So I see a couple more people join. So just make sure to comment so you get entered into our weekly drawing at some point in the video tonight. So let me know what part of the world you're watching from or what type of coach you are. Okay, so I shared my money story with you. Oh my goodness, I have all these things popping up. Too low FPS. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay, so first of all, I want to say this is that I don't think money should ever be an objection for someone getting to do life coach training, right? And I'm just gonna put this out there. If any of you who've been following me for a while and you're in this group or watching my YouTube videos and you're like, I want to work with Krista, I truly believe she is meant to be my coach, my mentor, my trainer. I like her energy. I like her teaching styles. Like if you feel so strongly about that and you believe that we're meant to work together and I'm meant to help you in your coaching journey, if you come to me and you say, Krista, I so badly want to be in your coach training program and I will do whatever I can to make it work out. I don't feel like I have all the money right now, but I'm open to learning how to create it or how we can work together. Like if you would come to me with that mindset, with that growth, that abundant mindset, I would be like, oh my gosh, 100%. I would love to work with you. I would love to find a way to make this work out. A couple of the students that have already joined, we're doing some creative type of payment plans and everything to make it doable for them. So again, I just don't want money to be an issue here. I don't believe it needs to be an issue. I really believe that if you deeply desire this and you're ready for this training and experience and you're ready to fully show up and put 2 feet in the door, I want to help you to get there, and I'll do whatever I can to help you to get there. So just putting that out in the universe today, okay? I don't want you all to be like scared or afraid of me. You can always talk to me. I'm very open-minded. I'm very flexible, and I want people to succeed, and especially the people in my audience who have like a deep connection with me. Like I want to find a way to make this work out. So yes, okay. So I have a couple more points that I want to make, and then we're going to get into the actual 5 steps for this training. So I just want to let you all know too that it's okay to stretch yourself when it comes to money. And that's actually a good thing to do. And and at the end, we're going to talk about some money resources and like wealth conscious books. And one of my favorite books is How to Be a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. Let me know if you've ever raised it. I love that book. I love her humor. And one of my favorite stories in there was how she was going car shopping and she's so bad. I think she wanted like a Maserati or a BMW or like a really nice type of car, and she didn't have the money for it at the moment. And so she was like test driving all these different types of cars. And of course, she's like looking at all the ones that are more affordable and in her price range, but she's like sitting in them and she's like, ugh, this just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. I want to be in the nice luxury car where I feel like a badass. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to do something crazy here. And she decided to purchase the really nice sports car because of how it made her feel, even though she didn't quite have the money yet. And she knew that it was going to force her to show up and to find and to create the money and to help her like to take her far out of her comfort zone. And that's exactly what happened. And so basically she found all these like creative, unique ways to make the money. And then guess what? She has the skill set for the rest of her life of knowing how to make money. So that being said, like when someone is thinking, and let me just say this, is nobody ever has money just laying around for coach training or to invest in coaches. Like I hear so many people say, well, I don't have the money for coach training right now. And I mean, nobody has the money for that. Like we don't have a budget set aside for coaching or coach training, right? We have it set aside for like gas and our car payment and our house payment and food and childcare and like the necessities. But you have to really ask yourself like, okay, where am I going to find this money? How am I going to create this money? Like we were talking about earlier. And by you stretching yourself and making yourself a little bit uncomfortable, like with, taking on a new monthly payment, which I know how uncomfortable that feels. Maybe it's $400 a month, $800 a month over the course of 6 months, 12 months. Like, I'm sure like that brings up a lot of different feelings when you think about it. Maybe it brings like a lump in your throat or a tightness in your chest or whatever. And I mean, that's a good sign that there's some deeper things to work through there. There's some triggers and some money blocks. But what's going to happen is you're going to stretch yourself to grow and say, okay, I need to figure out where to create this money every month. And so you may start putting yourself out there and signing people up to work with you, talking about your coaching for the first time ever. Or you may start selling stuff around the house that you don't need. And then you are increasing or improving your selling skills on like Facebook Marketplace, right? It's just that like it's not a bad thing to be a little uncomfortable, to make yourself a little bit uncomfortable with an investment that you really want and you really believe in, because it's going to force you to grow and it's going to help you to step into the boss and CEO and entrepreneur and badass that you really want to be. All right. So I just wanted to say that. And then the other thing is, you can't do the same thing every day and expect different results, right? That's the definition of insanity. We can't do the same thing every day and expect different results. So a lot of times I'll hear people say, well, I'm going to do coach training next year. And then say, okay, well, what's going to change? What's going to be different between now and next year? And they're like, I don't know. So, I mean, where is this money going to appear from over the next 6 months? Like a lot of times we just want to push things off because we don't want to think about it and like, oh, I'll think about it later. But then we're not really like correctly assessing the situation, saying, well, what new habit am I going to create or what new action am I going to take to produce different results in my life? So just make sure too that you all aren't falling into that trap of saying, yeah, I'll sign up for coach training next year, or I'll work with the coach next year when the money comes. Because, well, what can you do now to start creating that money? Okay, just some food for thought there. So you can't do the same thing every day and expect different results. You're going to have to try something different. Okay, so that being said, Hopefully now you're feeling all juiced up and ready to talk about changing our money mindset. So the first step, if you want to change your money mindset, is start to acknowledge where your money fears have come from. Okay. So a lot of times, either in a past life or this life, and yes, if you study hypnotherapy, we do have past lives, and there's all kinds of influences on the relationship we have with money and the stories we tell ourselves around money. Like we may feel like money doesn't grow on trees, or the money's going to run out. Or see, I'm trying to think of what other money stories there are. I can't think of any specific examples, but like, right. Oh, I know. For me growing up, my mom she loved collecting coupons, and then she would only buy things at either like the grocery store or the clothing store that were like very deeply discounted. And she would never buy things that were expensive or nice. They always had to be on discount. So I took on that story, and my mom grew up really, really poor. And so I took that story on as my own money story. And then when I would go shopping, I would only let myself shop at on the discount racks, because I didn't believe that I was worthy enough to have the things that weren't on discount. And I didn't even realize that that was happening until someone pointed that out. So that's an example, right, of like how our parents' money stuff, our parents, like how they grew up with money, how that can be passed down in the generations. And the cool thing is that we get to break those habits. We get to create new stories around money, so that way we don't pass it on to our own children as well. And we're probably going to fuck up our children on some level, but as much as we consciously can do this work and be aware, I think that's one of the best gifts that we can give to our children. So just acknowledge maybe, where those money stories came from. So that's like something that I do with my private clients. If they're having like a lot of fears, in particular around money, I always say, where do you think this came from? Is this your fear, or is this somebody else's fear? And it kind of just brings that relief, being able to identify that, oh, wow, this actually really isn't my fear. This was my dad's fear. This was my grandpa's money fear. And then, you can choose to like energetically send it back to them, give it back, because you don't need to take that on. And especially if you're a sensitive empath like myself, and a lot of times we have a lot of holes in our boundary field, is we're going to take on other people's stuff all the time, and we have to learn how to cleanse and release that so we can live our best lives. Okay, so step one is acknowledging where those money fears came from. Step two is let yourself feel what you need to feel. I don't want you to go right into like all the positive, bubbly manifestation shit. Like, I love all that stuff. It's great, but also give yourself space to be sad, angry, frustrated. Maybe you want to go to like a smash room and like just, move that anger out of your body, or do Krav Maga, or go for a run, or scream, or, punch a pillow, or just let yourself feel, stop pushing it down and away. And I am so guilty of this, but instead of like pushing it away, let it be expressed in the way that it needs to be expressed, as long as it's not harming yourself or someone else. But let yourself do that shadow work. And trust me, that is the quickest way. Feeling is the quickest way to healing. And I know that it can be uncomfortable, especially for women. A lot of times we don't like let ourselves get angry or show anger or show strong emotions. And it's healthy. It's healthy to honor our emotions, express our emotions. And I'm just speaking from past experience of the coaches and therapists I've worked with that really just have held space for me to, when I've cried in front of them, or I've said like, this pisses me off right now. And then you just feel so much better, and you feel so much lighter. And then it's like, okay, now I'm ready to move forward. But it's really hard to move forward when you haven't let yourself process the feelings first. So that's the second step to changing your money mindset. Feel what you need to feel about the situation. So number 3 is, can you feel gratitude for your current situation? Now, I know this is going to feel really hard because you literally may have $5 in your bank account right now. And you're like, Krista, how the heck am I supposed to feel grateful for $5 in my bank account? Or another thing that I like that Tony Robbins said is a lot of times we always say, oh, when I'm a millionaire, I'm going to donate all this money to, starving kids in Africa and this and this. And he's like, well, why can't you donate 10 cents to your dollar right now? Why can't you practice showing up right now how you would show up as a millionaire? Right? So, that's pretty powerful. So, I want to challenge you, and can you find that deep gratitude for the current situation that you're in, for the roof over your head, for the food on your table and in your fridge, for being able to pay your bills, for the car in your driveway, for the daycare options that you have. I mean, there's just a lot of times I'll hear people say, I'm broke, but then they have a house, they have 2 cars, they have furniture in their house. And I'm like, how does that mean you're broke? That doesn't mean you're broke. Look at all this that you have in your life. And for us Americans especially, we have way more like material possessions than most people have in the world. I've traveled all over the world, and it was mind-blowing how much Americans have, and we still think we need more and we don't have enough stuff. So remember too that what we focus on expands, and this kind of goes into like the law of attraction. So if we're waking up every day and we're like, I don't have any money, or I don't like my current situation, or I'm not going to find any clients, or they're not going to pay me for my services, or I'm not going to hit my financial goals, like that is just like putting that energy out into the universe, and then we're attracting that back to us. And I know I need to clean up a little bit of this right now in my current life coaching launch. It's a hard thing to do. So can you wake up every morning and find something that you're immediately grateful for in your life or with your current financial situation, right? How powerful would that be to start every day like that, and then do it again right before you go to bed, so it's in your thoughts when you're sleeping all night? And you'll start to notice after a while, after practicing that, oh, my hair is flying all over right now, that it's going to get easier. It's going to get easier to be grateful for the small things, and just to find joy in the things that you already have, and knowing and trusting that whatever you desire is coming at the most perfect time, but that you can actually be happy with where you're at right now. And I know it's hard because we've trained our brain to think and operate a certain way most of our life, but just remember like how much you can rewrite your stories and create new thoughts, create new habits, create new beliefs. You are the creator of your universe, so you can do that. All right, step number 4 is identify what's the new story you want to create. So now that we have this new awareness, now we have to take our power back, because we give so much power away to other people. We give so much power away to money. We need to take our power back, and we need to say, okay, like what's the new story I want to create? So this is where like the affirmations and the mantras come in, and it can be, I've really gone into like tapping and affirmations lately. One of my favorite ones is people love to fucking pay my prices. Like that's been the new story that I've been creating, is that I can choose whatever price I want, and people are going to be so excited to pay for it. Oh, see, it feels so good in my body. And the first time you're saying these, it might not feel good in your body. It might feel weird. It might feel foreign. You might feel like, well, I'm lying to myself. And, kind of have to fake it at first. And then you will start to feel it in your body. It will start to feel normal and natural. But at first, it might feel weird. If you ever want different ideas for like mantras, affirmations, go on Pinterest. They have so many good ones on there. You can type in money affirmations. Another story I love is my clients love to pay for my services. People love to pay for my services. And then you just repeat that over and over again, write it out until it becomes just so natural for you, just rolls off the tongue, and there's no charges in your body. So think about, I would actually love to hear from all of you in the comments right now is what's the new money story you want to create for yourself? Let me know. What is the new money story you want to create for yourself moving forward? I'm going to be excited to hear what comes up. Okay, and then the last step is what do you want to commit to moving forward that will improve your situation? What do you want to commit to moving forward that will improve your situation? So like we talked about earlier, you can't keep doing or thinking the same thing over and over again and expect to get different results. So we're going to have to try something new. We're going to have to believe something new, think something new, try something new in order to get different results. So what is it that you want to do? So for an example, let's see, maybe you're like, I want to sell some of my stuff in my closet. Maybe you've never done that before. Facebook Marketplace is wonderful. I literally just sold something like 30 minutes before I did this live. It feels so good to just declutter your house. Maybe you read a money book for the first time. Maybe you've never done that before. Maybe you open up a savings account and you're like, okay, every month I'm going to put away $100 and start savings to build up a fund. Let's see, what are some other examples that you can do to improve your situation? You can, I don't know, nothing's coming to mind right now. So if any of you have ideas, let me know. Also too, ooh, this makes me think of a story. So I was planning on quitting my nursing job and going to travel around the world for a year with my husband at the time. He was in the military. He was a military nurse, and we both hated our jobs as nurses, and we were so excited for this trip. And we had this whole plan that we were going to save and have at least $20,000 of savings so we could just live off that for like the first 6 months, and then we'd figure it out as we go. And then 6 months before I was supposed to leave, my husband and I decided to get divorced, and then I lost my nursing job. And luckily, I was working with my life coach at the time, and I was devastated because I was like, I had a plan, and now I don't know what to do. And I'm not gonna. I want to world travel. I'm not gonna give up on this dream. So I need to find another way for this money to come from. And I'm blocked. And she asked me such a simple but powerful question. She said, well, is there anywhere else where the money can come from? And then the minute she said that, I got teary-eyed. I got these chills and tingles in my body, which I take that's a message from the universe. And I was like, oh my gosh, my aunt passed away a couple of years ago and she left me money in this retirement account. And I never would have thought to use like an inherited retirement account to draw from because you can have like some tax implications there. But I was like, I just feel like she left me that money for a reason and I'm supposed to use that. So I ended up pulling like $38,000 from that account, and I lived off of that for a couple of years as I was world traveling. But I would have never like considered that a possibility. And I know it was a little bit like kind of non-traditional and unconventional way to make money, but it was still money. Like money is money. So I want to ask all of you the same thing is, where are some other places where money could come from? Right? What does that bring up for you? Remember, all of the ideas and solutions are already in here within you. So where else could money show up and come from in your life? Some other really creative ways that my clients have found money to do private coaching with me. One just did school loans. So she increased her loan amount. I actually have a woman who's going to join coach training, and same thing. She's going to get a loan as well. And then I've had people put it on credit cards. I've had people ask their significant other or their parents for like a birthday present, or borrow the money and then they'll pay them the money back. So like when we really do want something, we get really creative and find ways to make it happen. So it just, right? There's just so many different creative ways to do it. And remember that being resourceful and being creative is one of your strongest skill sets. as a coach and as a business owner. So let's start practicing now so that way you can really build up that skill set and have you know, be a successful coach. Okay, so the last thing that I want to go over is some different like bonus like resources that I can give to you. So one of them is How to Be a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero, and totally read that book. And in that book, she talks about creating your spiritual gym, and that faith is a muscle. So just like you would go to the gym every day to build up your muscles, you need to go to the spiritual gym every day to build up your faith muscles. So every day you can be doing something to improve your relationship with money or you know, your spiritual practice. So maybe you read a chapter a day from a wealth conscious book, or maybe you write out 10 times a money mantra, or something that a lot of my clients like to do, and I do as well, is you can go on a date with your money. So you dress up, you put on nice lingerie, and you do your hair and makeup, and then you can look like this candle that I have here. It says, "I'm a rich bitch." And I light this. I have it lit right now, and there's crystals in it too. But it's a Reiki charged money candle. So you could have that nearby. You can have your money crystals nearby. You can have money meditation music playing in the background. They have so much great stuff on YouTube, right? So you're creating like this sacred space to spend time with your money, and you look at your finances, and you look at ways where you can save money, or you can like quit subscriptions or pay your bills. But you're just like someone you really care about in your life. You also want to do that with your money too. You want to spend time with your money. You want to be nice to your money. Another thing you can do is, this is one of my favorite money exercises, is you can write a letter to money, right? So what that would sound like is, on a piece of paper, you would say, "Dear money, I'm so sorry I've been treating you so poorly over the years. I know that you've been so wonderful for me. You've showed up in so many times in my life, and yet I've taken it for granted, and I'm ready to stop. I want to improve our relationship. I want to trust that you're coming every day into my bank account, and that you're going to continue flowing in there, and you'll always be there forever and ever, and that you and I are going to do great, amazing things together in this world. You're the best. I love you. Love, Krista." So that's an example of what a money letter can sound like. That's something you can do with your own coaching clients as well. So feel free to take and use that one. Another couple of books that I like is this one's by Manifestation Babe. That brand, Catherine Zakina, is the author, and it's called How to Manifest $1,000 in 21 Days. It's a really easy read. Every time I do it, I always find $1,000. So that's a good one to do as well. Ooh, I'm going to suggest that to a couple people. So yeah, check that one on Amazon. So Manifestation Babe, Catherine Zakina, how to it's like up-level your money mindset and manifest $1,000 in 21 days. Also, another book I like is called The Path to Wealth by May McCarthy, and she's a really successful entrepreneur, and she has a really strong relationship with the universe, and she talks about all of these spiritual practices that she does every day to make money. So for any of you who are really into the spiritual woo-woo stuff, you'll love that book. Also, if you go onto YouTube, there are so many tapping meditations on there around money by Brad Yates. I love Brad Yates. He was one of the authors of the movie The Secret. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of that or watched that. But tapping is just, you're tapping on these different points on your body. So as you can see, I'm tapping on some of them right now. And so there are these acupressure points. And as you're tapping, you're saying these different mantras or affirmations out loud. And what it does is it immediately soothes your nervous system and gets you into a different state of mind. And it is, I think it's so much better than meditating. You all need to go check it out after you watch this training today. Just type in YouTube, like tapping meditation money. And there'll be some ones from Brad Yates that comes up. So that's a really good thing to do too if you're having a lot of money fears and worries right now. And I have a money tapping video too. So I will put that link in the comments so you can watch that. So that is on YouTube. That is how much I love it. I created my own. But yeah, so that's all I have for y'all tonight. So let's just quickly go through the 5 steps again. Let's review that. So step 1 was acknowledge where your money fears are coming from. Step 2 is feel what you need to feel. Step 3 is be grateful for your current financial situation. Step 4 is identify what's the new story you want to create. And 5, what do you want to commit to moving forward to improve your situation? So I know if you take yourself through these 5 steps, you will start to create a new abundant mindset around money, and you will greatly improve your money situation because you're not going to stay so stuck and focused on what you don't have, and you're going to learn how to say, well, what can I create here? What can I do differently moving forward? And that is a powerful as fuck mindset to have. So that being said, I want to hear from all of you now is what's one new thing that you're going to do differently after watching this training today? So let me know in the comments. Okay, what's one new thing you're going to do differently after watching this training today? I always love to hear from all of you. So let me know. I'll have to go back and check the comments afterwards since I cannot see them right now. And then the last thing that I wanted to announce is we have 9 spots left for coach training. It starts October 4th. I'm sure a lot of you have heard me talk about it, and hopefully it is starting to sink in and really become a possibility for you. Right? I want you to, especially after what we talked about today and what I said in the beginning of if you truly want this experience of working with me and 11 other students over the next 7 months and learning how to become a professional coach, starting an online coaching business from scratch, and having that tight-knit community and that support in a way you've never had it, I want you to come to me. I want you to reach out to me. You can private message me after watching this, or you can comment below here, and I want to help you to figure this out. I want to help you to figure out how to make this work. I am totally open to co-creating and being flexible, and I won't reduce my price because I don't believe in giving discounts or reducing my price, but I can, work with whatever your current budget is in a way where you can, make the payments every month, or maybe we have to skip a month, or maybe we have to stretch it out longer. It doesn't matter. I'm not concerned about the money, to be honest. I don't really care about the money. What I care about is you getting the proper support and training that you need so you're fucking excited every day to go put yourself out in the world and to tell people about your coaching program and to feel confident about how to take on paying clients and to help change lives. Because it breaks my heart seeing so many coaches out there who don't know what they're doing and the imposter syndrome's getting in the way and they don't have training and they're like, I want this so bad, but I don't know what I'm doing. And that was me before I joined coach training. And it was terrible. I hated being in that place. I felt so stuck, so miserable. And then once I went through my own coach training, I was like, oh, this is how you do it. This is what coaching is supposed to sound like. These are the things you're supposed to ask your clients. This is how you set up a coaching session. And then it's like everything clicked. And then it was so much fun running my business and making my money and finding clients. And so I want that to be your experience as well. And I can help you to do that. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time. I've helped hundreds of coaches. So I want to be on your team. Let me be on your team. Please, please, please let me be on your team. Okay. I love you all. Thank you so, so much for being such a wonderful, fabulous member in this group, taking the time to be on these trainings. It means the world to me that you took the time to be here. And have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. All right. Happy coaching, everyone. Bye-bye.